All you parents out there who are really strict, your kids are out here doing the maddest. Like, you've created a sneaky child.
Yeah. Hi guys, welcome to episode 15 of The Messy Drawer. Today we're going to be talking about boundaries and privacy, basically, in a lot of ways as well. So first of all, we're going to go into like the sort of privacy that we had as kids. Did you guys have a lot of privacy from your parents when you were kids?
Yeah.
You never had them get all up in your space or ask too many questions?
No, do you know like how people be like, my parents used to go through my diary and read it. Like even from the moment I got my first letters, I don't remember my parents opening my letters. I don't remember. Yeah, all going through my phone, checking messages. And I thought I had strict parents, but
I remember a time when I was like 12 or 13 and my dad had found out that I was like texting a boy, and basically he was so intensely angry, and I kept on telling, I was like, this friend's like my brother, you know? And my dad was like, you already have a brother. Can you focus your intention on this brother who is your actual brother? Why do you need more? And I just
how did he find out?
Pardon?
How did he find out? Did he go through your phone?
His name was like he had like an Asian name, and it just kept on cropping up on my phone, and it was right there. And we were texting, and he was actually just a friend as well. And I just remember arguing with my dad over the fact that why do I need more brothers or something ridiculous like that.
I have a lot of privacy and a lot of freedom, especially being a Somali kid. Like I know that a lot of Somali people don't share this, but my family has always been open, and I was allowed to date since I was like 10. I was allowed to have boyfriends. In fact, I could bring my boyfriends home, and my nan would be like, okay, is this boy that you're talking to? I'd be like, yeah, he's my boyfriend. She'd be like, okay. No one ever went through my letters, anything. But there's one time I remember what year were we in when we used to get those cards that you would get free condom and free pads and those things.
It's like sex advice and sex package.
Yeah, those fast cards, whatever they were called. And when they came to our school and we were given loads of bags of condoms each person, do you remember that? And I took them. I wasn't having sex or anything. I just put them in my drawer. And one time I came home and my mom was like, well, I found some condoms in your drawer. So do you want to talk about this? And I was like, what do you mean? And she felt really bad. She was like, I was looking for an Oyster card and I just found them there. And I'm really sorry for finding them, but I did.
So she apologized as well.
Yeah. She felt bad for finding them, she felt like she was invading my privacy, but she kept on stressing she was just looking for an Oyster card. Yeah. And we got them from school. I'm like, I'm not sleeping with anybody, but everyone in school was getting it. And she's like, okay, all right, fine, okay. But that was it. And I could always go out as long as I could call and say, I'll be late, I'll come home at 2, 3, whatever. As long as they knew I was safe, no one cared.
No problem. Yeah, I don't like parents who are really into their kids' business. It just creates a sneaky child.
Very sneaky child.
Very sneaky child. All you parents out there who are really strict, your kids are out here doing the maddest. Like, you've created a sneaky child. Yeah. Honestly.
I had the freedom to do anything and everything I wanted to, but I just never felt like doing it.
Isn't it funny? That's how it always is. When you have the freedom to do things, you don't do it. But it's when people stop you from doing it. It's like some psychological thing. Yeah, it's kind of like, now I want to do it.
When you take something away, it makes you want to do it more. I think one of the reasons why I even left to live out at uni was because I just felt like I needed space. I don't know how it is with other South Asian families, but there's there's a very strong stereotype about the lack of privacy when it comes to like being Asian. I don't ever remember a time where I said I'm going out and my parents didn't ask where, who, when are you coming back? And I'm 24 years old and I still have to tell, like, I still live at home at the moment. So I still tell my parents where I'm going or who I'm going with. Like, it's not that and it's come to a point where it's not even that they're asking, it's second nature for me to tell them, because if I don't, they might not ask, but they're still like, okay, who is it? Like, do you get what I mean? It's become habit to tell them about that.
Is that like, I am old enough now, I don't even live at home, but when I go home, or when I was at home and I was still old, when I was going out, I would not say who or what, but I would just had the need to tell somebody I was going out.
The respect kind of thing, if you're living at home.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because I was being interrogated or anything, but I would just be, I'm going out, I'll be back tomorrow. Yeah. I'll be back in 2 nights' time. Do you know what I mean? I
do that as well. They don't ask, like, who are you going to go see?
No. It's just like, okay, have fun. That is it. And end up. But I don't just walk out of the door like I would do if I lived alone.
Yeah, and seriously, I grew up thinking I had this strict yes parent until I found out otherwise. Like,
until you met brown people.
I met brown people, I'm like, whoa.
It was so bad. Once I left the house at like, so I left the house at like 10:30, and everyone was already like in bed doing their own thing. So I didn't feel the need to tell anyone, because if I tell someone I'm leaving at 10:30, then I have to tell them what it is. And this was a couple of years ago. And so I went out and left the house, and I didn't tell anyone. I just told my brother. I did tell my brother. I was like, listen, I'm going out. I felt like I had to tell anyone or someone. I just didn't want to tell my parents. Went out. And the night ended up being at like 2:30, 3 in the morning. I was just hanging out with my friends, and I came home and I'd left my key at home, my house key. I'd forgotten it stupidly. I thought it was in this coat pocket. It wasn't. It was in the other coat pocket. And I was panicking. I was like, if I ring the doorbell right now, then I have to explain that I left the house to start with, and they don't know that I'm not inside the house, right? So I kid you not, I came to the back of the house and I climbed this like 7-foot garden gate and jumped over it, because I didn't want to wake anyone else up, because if I wake my dad up at 3 a.m, he's like, I didn't know you left the house, what the fuck? So that's how bad it was. Like, it wasn't controlling, but it's like this inner need inside like me that was like, probably shouldn't tell them you're leaving at 11, and they probably shouldn't see you coming back at 3. It's a whole other sort of unnecessary situation.
But for safety reasons, do it, man.
You have to tell.
I told my little brother, innit? I said, listen, man's going out, just in case.
I got in a lot of trouble when I was about 15 or whatever I was, not for leaving. We went out and we were watching a movie, a long ass film, and my phone died. And I got like, my mom was calling me and there was no answer. And it's about, I think about 9:30. It wasn't that late. But because we lived in a very racist area, like things didn't happen. And from the bus stop to my house, guys, it was like about 10-minute walk.
I remember it was a dark road.
Yeah, it was a very dark road. So she was just so worried, and my phone was dead. And when I came home and she was fuming. She's like, why didn't you call? Why didn't you tell me you were going to be late? Why didn't you tell me you were going to the cinema? Then I would have known you'd be late. And she was but it was for safety reasons, not for why you went away, or for whatever reason, yeah. But with boundaries, there's something that a lot of ethnic people don't really care about: knocking on doors. I see a lot of times, like, people complaining about their parents just opening and coming in. No knock, no whatever. And some of them knock, and before the knock finishes, the door is open.
Yeah. It's just a letting you know you're coming, not asking for permission.
Yeah, and that's the problem for me. Like, I'm your child. I'm not like I'm not someone you step over. I also deserve respect as your child, as a human being. You can't just like walk into my room and demand to see whatever it is that I'm doing on my phone or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Do you knock when you walk into your parents' bedrooms?
Yeah, I knocked when I go to anyone's bedroom,
Yeah.
whether it's my little brothers or my parents.
And you wait for a come in.
Seriously.
I think a lot of parents forget that their children is not an extension of them. It's a human being of their own life.
I agree.
Parents do not know that.
Yeah. Like, yes, this is your child, but they are a person of their own. It's not just
they control a lot of people's lives, like from who you marry, what schools you go to, what you're going to do in life. You're not even living your life for yourself.
A lot of ethnic people would know that we honestly live for our parents, and most people are miserable and depressed and unhappy because what they want to do is not what their parents are telling them to do.
Yeah. And it's a really hard concept to explain to them as well, because sometimes like I try to understand where they're coming from, and I try and like sympathize and empathize with them, because like my parents were immigrants. They came from a country that threw them out, because not threw them out, but pushed them out because it was so unsafe for them to be there. So for them to be in this foreign land and be here and be worried for their child's safety, I understand that. But at the same time, it is really hard to explain to them that although you might have become an extension of your parents, which a lot of them did because that's just how things were, we're now in a place where we're evolving beyond being our parents' extensions, and we're evolving beyond, you know, being some sort of, I hate to use this word, but like, you know, like a doll, to do and to do as they say and to act as they say and to go where they say, like that. But
yeah, you're a puppet.
They very much did that for their parents, and it's really hard to explain to them that we no longer feel that we have to do that.
Do you know, I was going to say the opposite. I was going to say, I feel like when you talk to your parents, a lot of times it's like, wait, so you was out here doing the most, not listening to me, right? And you're like, but you're forcing it on me. Like, okay. It's kind of like
the things they tell you, and you're like, excuse me? But can we talk about brown people refusing to apologize? Not brown, sorry, ethnic people, black and brown people, refusing to apologize to their children. Like, do you want food? It's not an apology.
No,
are you okay? Are you angry? It's not an apology. Like, when you have done wrong and you wrong this person, I think apologize.
100%.
In my whole life, out of all the adults that have been in my life, there was one person who used to apologize to me, and that's my nan. And even when I have done something wrong and she yells at me, at the end she would come and apologize to me for raising her voice at me.
Well, I was different because my dad apologized all the time.
No one else, I've never had anyone else, like, oh, my mom also apologizes, but for everyone else, I've never had anyone apologize.
No, I agree with you there. I don't. I think elders feel that even though elders feel, I feel like they can do no wrong to the younger ones, because the younger ones are inexperienced, or whatever situation happened, an argument or whatever, it's always in their head the child is still to blame in some way. So
a sense of entitlement.
So I think they really struggle with apologizing and taking responsibility for their blame in a situation, because to them the fact that they're elder overrides that in general. And I find that's not just with like personal relationships like us, but even like, do you not have any extended family who aren't great people, but they're still respected, and they're still invited over, and it's still normal, because even though they've done something wrong, or, you know, something's happened, they're still family, you know? It's as if that overrides everything, being older and being family.
Do we, as the young people in the family, also break boundaries?
How would we break boundaries?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I have seen people who break boundaries with their parents, and for me, like, calling your parents a bitch,
Oh.
that's breaking a boundary.
Name calling.
Mhm.
I don't name
calling is a boundary. Breaking a boundary. I think
violence is a boundary.
yeah. So yes, usually parents don't respect boundaries, but there are some children who really don't care.
I'm not.
But don't you think the parent is the one that's created that situation? As in them calling, because I often find that kids that are comfortable by calling their parents with their first names or calling them out of their name, when you meet the parent, you kind of understand. Not being me.
They've allowed an environment to happen where it's
Yeah.
okay for them to do that. If they're
Yeah.
constantly name calling other people and their child,
You really see the child overstepping the boundaries, and then you meet the parent, you're like, okay.
I get it.
But as you grow up, it's your responsibility to take responsibility for your actions, and you should not call your parents out of their names.
I mean, yeah, but everyone's relationship with their parents is
The relationship you have with your parents is kind of like they're always going to be your parent. So if you've always been able, this is just a random made up thing in my head. It has no justification, but I'm just thinking that on the spot. If that's my parent and we've always been name calling, at what point am I going to evolve if you're not going to evolve? Because you're my parent, you're not evolving in our relationship. How can I evolve? How can I go from calling you a bitch and a hoe to mum if you're still calling me a bitch and a hoe? See what I mean?
When you become an adult, you know that that's not a cool thing to do.
But respect commands respect. And if your mom's still calling you a bitch and a hoe, then maybe you just need to remove yourself from the situation entirely. You know? It's kind of crazy. But if you know what,
I'm very family orientated. For me, family is everything. I would give up anything and everything for my family, no matter how dysfunctional and toxic they might be. Not that they're dysfunctional and toxic. So for me,
if they're not great people.
Yeah, don't you struggle with that? Because I really struggle with that.
Because I would reckon these people who do these name callings are not from a family that's, I don't want to say respected, but you know.
No, family wide, yeah, respect is not mutual. But I think when it comes to crossing a boundary, parents, there's a lot more for a parent to cross, but there are some for a child to cross as well.
100% agree with you. Like, I think as a child, you should respect your parents a bit more than they respect you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just what I believe.
Yeah.
And I do believe, like, yeah, we should. Actually, you're the one who always says you find it hard to forgive people. So,
doesn't mean I will forgive them.
But so you'll fake it.
For me, if my family does me wrong, I'll hate them for the rest of my life. I'll remind them why I hate them for the rest of my life, but I would not call them out their names or, like, do you know what I mean? Like, act a certain way. I'd be mad, but I'll still make sure I respect them.
But that's the thing. Do toxic family members deserve your respect? Doesn't respect have to be earned? Isn't respect have to be returned? Like, for me, I just feel like for someone to, like, my parents I respect, but for someone, an extended part of my family, for them to be horrible and toxic means that I will not speak to them.
But no, I'm not talking about extended family. I'm talking about immediate family. And for me, I'm Somali. My immediate family means my aunties, my uncles, my grandparents, my cousins. Those are, in my views, all immediate families.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Your aunties and your uncles and your cousins, say they're really toxic and they're being really horrible. How do you still give them respect? Because I struggle with that.
If my aunties were like mean, my uncles, for whatever reason, I'll still be respectful. I know it's not nice, and I would want, but the reason being would be because I respect other people that respect them. Does that make sense?
I was going to say that. I was going to say the only reason I'll give them respect is because they're mom. I don't want to put my mum in that situation, or my dad. However, if they were being disrespectful to my parents, then I don't know about respect anymore.
But then what if?
My mum would probably tell me this is not your fight to fight. So these are your elders.
Okay, can I just give you a scenario though? Say, you know, you just mentioned, what if your parents respect them, and what if, say, they've been very disrespectful to your parents, and I know it's not your fight, but say they've been very disrespectful to your parents, and your parents are still respectful to them. Where do you stand, Sharon?
And where my parents stand.
Sharon? But where do you stand, Sharon? Because that's not it, man.
I'm not my parents. I'm not forgiving.
Yeah, I'm not it.
Not forgiving. I'm not talking about forgiving.
Or respectful.
Because I know if my mom and my auntie were fighting and I got involved somehow, I would get slapped sideways.
I can't respect someone who's disrespecting my parents.
Yeah, like outright disrespectful. Shall I tell you something? This is something I feel comfortable sharing. I had a family member a very long time ago who was extremely disrespectful, unnecessarily, and said things that no person should say. And I completely stopped all relations with this person. And a few years ago, my parents started having a relationship with this person again. And, you know, and actually invited them over to dinner about a year and a half ago. I was so uncomfortable, but I still, even despite the fact that everyone was so respectful to this person, I still did not feel that they deserved my respect. And you know what, like, that's just not it. Like, I'm my own person. I don't care.
I get what you mean. Honestly, I understand.
Najma, how about this? What if you've got like an uncle? You know them uncles that get in your business, like telling your mom, you allowing your daughter to dress like that going out?
It would piss me off. I would be like, who the fuck is he? But
so when he comes back, every time he comes back to your house, you'll be greeting him to show respect.
Yeah.
I might have not mean it, but because...
And you'll be dressing modestly.
Yeah, because I'm not even saying hello to this person. If that's
you'll continue that.
That's what he's like.
It's because being Somali, again, maybe it's something that we need to break. But,
but it's not going to start with you, I don't think. You're not ending the cycle.
No movement with me. I'm comfortable. Honestly, for me, like being Somali, unless someone cuts, if I didn't have my family ties and my family responsibilities, I would cut them out like immediately. You say one wrong word to me, you never hear from me ever again. But because of my family, it would be like I'm expected to respect this person.
Yeah, but I don't care about them expectations.
In my heart of hearts, I'm wishing death on them, but I'll shake their hand, I'll say,
okay, let's make it personal. If your brother was talking to your daughter like that, how would you want your daughter to respond?
I wouldn't want my daughter answering my brother though either. It would be me to stop it. I don't want my daughter saying whatever she wants to my brother.
Right. Okay.
But
I would tell him, like, stay in your lane. Like, it's none of your business.
I like that spin though, Sharon. If your daughter, that's your brother and that's your daughter, and your brother is being extremely toxic in some way towards your daughter, what do you do? Do you want your daughter to stand up for herself despite
100%
elder, or do you want your brother, you don't want her to talk back to him?
Okay, it depends how she responds, but I would want
her to
voice her opinion.
Yeah, right?
I would definitely want to.
You can't speak however way you want to my brother. It doesn't matter. For me, my brother's my brother. You see, I only met you, kid. This book bag is my right.
You pushed out that child, but you only just met him.
Nah, bro, my brother cannot tell my daughter you can't dress like this.
He can't tell her. I would be like,
to me like that, then
I'm not expect. Yeah. and not expect her not to say anything because respect. I think not.
Yeah, respect. If no, she can say something and she can say, "Uncle, that's not all right," but she can't be like,
yeah, she can't be like putting her finger in his face, because then I'll be like,
use a finger.
It depends how she responds, but I'll definitely want her to let him know this is not acceptable and I will not tolerate this.
I agree.
I think when we become parents, we have to set examples that maybe that was not set for us. We have to protect our children in ways that we don't feel protected.
100%.
So I would set an example for my daughter that no one can tell her how to live her life. Including her own father. I wouldn't like it if my husband said to my daughter, "You're not allowed to go out looking like that." I'll be like, "Who the hell are you?"
Yeah, her dad.
I don't care. But do you know what I mean? I wouldn't want a disrespectful child that talks to people however way they want.
100%. 100%.
Right.
I agree.
Let's talk about privacy and boundaries when it comes to like you're dating your boyfriend, your partner.
I don't know. Do you guys believe that someone should have like everyone should have the passwords to their phones?
Oh, you know what? I saw a meme today, actually, or yesterday. And this girl, it was a recording of a girl who her boyfriend came up to her and he was like, "Can I have your phone?" And she unlocked it for him and gave it to him. And he said, "Can I go through it?" And she was like, "Of course, baby, you can go through it. You can check my DMs, you can check my Instagram." Basically, she was like, it was just a video saying that there should be no like boundaries between a couple, especially like regarding a phone. And I just thought that was really unrealistic. Like,
it's not.
I don't think it's unrealistic.
No, I don't
believe that.
The whole thing that there's, "Oh, you should give your password to someone," is weird, personally. But it's something that comes with time. Like when Matt got my password, it wasn't like, "Oh, okay, let's sit down. I'm going to give you my password, or you'll give me yours." It was just like, "Okay, I'm using your phone. What's your password?" I tell him, and I don't sit and go through his DMs or anything. I play games on his phone. He orders food on my phone. It's not. I never felt the need to go through his phone, and I don't think he ever has.
Yeah, if you're going through it, that's a bit weird. But I don't know, man. I think couples that don't have a relationship where they never go through each other's phones, I find that weird. Like, it's like a rule that you're not allowed to touch my phone.
Yeah, I would find that odd. Then that would make me want to find out more.
I definitely find that weird when they both be like, I don't have his password, he doesn't have mine, there's no need for that. I'd be like, okay, if that works for you, but to me,
it's not something that there's no need for when you coexist together. Something that just happens, and it's not like siblings or whatever. I get your siblings not having your password, but this person, honestly, relationships are so you and this person are entangled. You're almost one person to some extent. And it just happens. You're just trying to do something. You're just trying to call the doctor. What is your password?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Like with my parents, they have each other's passwords, and it's like my dad would be like telling my mom, "Call my mom," and she would just do it from his phone. And now imagine like, "Yeah, your phone is locked. Can you unlock it?" Then I go, it's just.
I understand your perspective when it comes to stuff like that, but the way this meme was very like, I just find people who like feel the need to go through someone's phone completely is weird.
That is weird. Why are you going through it? Because then that shows me you don't trust.
Instagrams, like Twitter DMs, like, isn't that, because the way it was in the meme, that's the way it came across, and I just found that really weird.
But she's trying to prove a point by saying, "Go through my DMs, you will find nothing."
Yeah.
In my relationship, that's not a conversation. Because he knows that he will not find anything. I know I'll not find anything. Why am I wasting my time?
But what about friends? Okay, so are we still on relationships?
We're over it with couples.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, what about with friends? Like I just find it odd when people just jump about their phones. Like, I'm not gonna go through it. And what is it that you're hiding so bad? I swear to God. I get it, there's a lot of personal information on someone's phone,
Yeah, but I'm just trying to order an Uber, babe.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
at home.
Get home.
I'm trying to stop my ex-boyfriend on the phone. I'm not going through your phone.
But with relationships, I think there is a lot more boundaries and a lot more lines to cross.
Than people, yeah, a lot of people be like, there shouldn't be any, I think there should be boundaries in every
I think there's potential for a whole sea of boundary to cross. For me, I think, although there's no set boundary in my relationship, there are things that we know not to do.
Yeah.
Can you give me an example of something?
Like if you called me a bitch, that the earth would shatter.
You know what? I have a really big thing for name calling. I cannot stand it when people think it's appropriate to call someone, even as a joke. It's not cool. I don't stand for name calling or for cross language like that.
Things like, there's a lot. You can't speak less of my family.
That's a big one.
I don't like.
Keep your opinions on my family to yourself.
There are some people who be like, oh, your mom again, that crazy woman. I would, oh my God. There's so much more, and I think...
Is he allowed to voice if, let's say, your mom has stayed her welcome?
Unless she doesn't say how welcome, but you can't say, when is this woman leaving? I swear to God, me and the woman will be gone together.
No, but what if you would have, say your partner came over to you and said, listen, your mom's been round for like 4 nights and she only said she was staying 1. Do you think she's going to be staying any longer? Like,
that's okay. I don't think it would irritate me, but I wouldn't mind.
It would irritate me. Bless your mum and bless your man.
You're just gonna have to be quiet until she goes. It's gonna irritate me a little bit.
In Somalia, we have a saying that is loved people don't crowd each other. So if you love my mom, she would not be a crowd to you, babe.
Yeah.
Should not be a burden.
So it would bother you more because just knowing you'd know that he's irritated by her presence and he doesn't like her.
It wouldn't.
Or he feels uncomfortable.
Some things are reasonable. I understand he's being reasonable. Like I wouldn't want my mom, if she said she's going to stay for 1 night and she's here for a week, I'd be like, lady, what's going on?
Get it going, yeah.
But
what about, do you think it's crossing the line if your partner says you're not looking as good as you used to, or if he says like you're putting on weight,
or you're
if he told you to lose weight or put on weight, is that crossing the boundary? Is that disrespectful, or is that just being honest?
Okay, it depends. Like everything else in life, it depends.
Mm-hmm.
If recently, this is a very personal thing to me, and I'm going to share it with you. Recently, we have one obese cat.
Oh.
And the cat told us off for her being so fat. So we bought a scale to make sure that she's losing weight and we reducing her food intake. Anyways, to measure her, because cats are so flimsy, I had to measure myself and then hold her and minus my weight.
Yeah.
But I measured myself and I was shocked at the result. And Matthew said, well, if you are not happy with what you see, maybe should we change our diet then? That wasn't offensive to me.
Yeah, because he's bouncing off of something you said.
Yeah.
And he does not telling you to lose weight. He's saying, if you want, we can make some healthier choices so that you can feel more comfortable in your skin.
And he says, if you're not happy with it, not babe, you put on a bit of weight.
No. He said, if you're not happy with the weight that you are, should we change our diet? And I was like, yeah, sure, sounds good, because I did not like what I saw. But if he just looked at me and said, girl, should you be eating that?
It's not about what you're saying, it's the way you say it.
But what if he knows, right? because I was watching Tamar Braxton once, and she was pregnant and she did not want to go over a certain size, so she wanted some American fast food. I think I forgot what it was. So he replied something like, "Are you sure that's what you want to eat?" And she lost it. But is that crossing the boundary when you know like your other partner does not want to go beyond a certain weight?
It's really difficult because I think it's a lot like, okay, your wife your girlfriend or your wife is pregnant and she tells you she doesn't want an epidural, but in the pain of it all, she wants the epidural. What, like, it's a struggle. She wants it right now and she should have it if she wants it, but then she said she didn't want it. So it's about being in the present, and if she's pregnant and she wants that food, dear God, for God's sake, like, who are you? The fucking.
But she's the one that said, "Do not make me." Make sure she gave him the
That's what people
permission.
do when they don't want epidurals as well. They do the same thing. They say, no matter how much pain I'm in, do not let me take the epidural. It's hard. It's a difficult one.
Talking about weight with your partner is a very sensitive topic.
And
you need to know how to approach it and when to approach it. And I think when your wife is pregnant, it's not a good time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, but the thing is, when I was watching it, like the way the show made him look like he was being evil when she gave him the permission. We all know how Tamar Braxton is, if you know who she is. She gave him the permission.
But I think, yeah, you could have said it instead of, "Oh, do you want to do that?" It's like, oh, remind her why that wasn't a good idea. Oh, like, you told me not to let you eat this food anymore, rather than, "Are you sure?"
Yeah. I feel like the "are you sure" comes across a bit condescending.
Yeah.
Comes across a bit condescending.
It depends on your personality, to be honest, because I didn't think it was condescending or insensitive.
If you got with someone who was a certain weight and that's what attracted you to them, and all of a sudden they lost a lot of weight or gained a lot of weight to a point that you no longer, yes, you're attracted to them, they're your partner, you love them, blah, blah, but they are not the person that your type, let's say, can they tell you, actually, slow down a little?
Personally, yeah.
Yeah, same. I don't think it's wrong to indicate to your partner that they might have, because another thing is, a lot of people, when they gain weight or lose weight, they don't see it on themselves because they see each other in the mirror every day. And I know your partner sees you all the time, but they probably notice it a lot more than you do. So maybe you need a little bit of a reality check, or maybe you need someone to say it because you're not even noticing.
And I think everything, not just weight, but anything that you are telling your partner that they might not like, the delivery is so important. Oh my goodness, deliver it well.
It's a very sensitive subject, 100%, but you know who you're dating, so you need to understand how they're going to receive it.
Exactly. Some people don't mind the harsh, straightforward. Mm-hmm. Some people want things slightly sugar-coated.
But I would definitely want my partner to tell me, like, oh God, it'll be hard to hear, but if he was like, "You've gained so much weight, I don't find you attractive."
Ooh, that is such a pain.
I can't be a hypocrite, because I reckon I would say it.
But then again, girls go and break. If someone said that to you, you break up with them, and fair enough. You know what? This person offended you, and they go on to lose weight.
And do the exact same thing that he was saying.
Or get, like, I don't know. But I think,
does that make someone a bad person?
I don't know. I think with weight is a maze of feelings, honestly, and things can go wrong real quick. And yeah, when it comes to weight gain or loss,
handle it with care.
Handle it with care. It's because weight is so tied into self-worth that you can hurt someone's self-worth so easily by, like, directing it into that. So yeah, I agree. Be careful.
Would you want your friends to tell you you're putting on weight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't want my friend.
Why is that different from a boyfriend then?
Because this person's meant to find me attractive.
Because this person's supposed to be attracted to me. We're supposed to have chemistry. He's supposed to be sexually attracted to me.
Loving me,
No, he's not. But he's not.
We're supposed to.
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
at a certain weight that he prefers, he's also human.
Yeah, but hearing from the person you're with that he's meant to find you attractive, by the way, I don't find you attractive, it's rude. Your friends are not trying to fuck you. So if they tell you, girl, you're looking skinny, you're looking chunky, tell me, because I know they have nothing to gain or to lose.
Yeah, from doing it.
That's what shitty people.
In fact, when we Zoom or when we Skype, I actually look forward to you guys telling me if I've gained or lost weight. Like, I'm hoping you'll say something so that
You're not going to hear it from me. I'll tell you that for free.
No, Sharon, I have high expectations.
I could never
tell me.
I could never give my opinion on someone's weight without knowing that they've given me permission to.
Well, I'm giving you permission.
I am fully giving you permission here.
No, do you know what? When it comes to girls, I'm so sorry to put everyone in one box, but girls are so wishy-washy. If we stop being friends tomorrow, you will go on to tell your new friends, oh, can you believe she told me I was fat? I don't have time for that. Yo, she was a hater, bro. She used to say, you're getting weight in your face. Nah.
It would upset me a little if you looked at me and you said, Najma, you're looking a bit fat. It would hurt my feelings.
It is.
But I would not be defensive about it, but it would hurt my feelings. I would say, okay, and
that's why I'm not saying anything. I don't tell girls nothing about
is it weight gain? What if I lost a lot of weight? Would you tell me, like, Najma, you're looking very skinny?
I'm not telling girls nothing.
Unless
I know you look good, and I'm like,
I'd be like,
I want you guys to tell me, Najma, you look skeleton.
No.
I'm just saying, no one's gonna hear it from
tell you, Najma, you're so slim, you're not looking good. I wouldn't say
you're not looking well.
I would say you're not looking well. How hard it is for people to say, like, you look tired. Do you know how hurtful that is when someone says you look really tired, and it's like, thanks, as if I don't know I'm tired. Nah, I'm not with it.
Advice out there, boys, to stay away from telling your girlfriends to put on weight.
Oh, please. Be careful.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it unless the conversation is already happening. And out of the blue, she's minding her business and you're like, you look different, or you,
If she brings it up or if she wants to talk about it, then even so, tread carefully.
Very carefully.
And girls, do not tell your friends to put on weight either.
No, always tell your friends.
I promise you, I've had too many girls, even on Twitter, be like, yeah, she's a fake friend, she said this about me. It's like, at the time, you probably took it as like a honest.
For me, I think, if I'm doing anything that is not what I want to do, and I'm doing it in front of my friends, I want them to tell me, slow down a little.
Yeah. I need a reality
friendship. Do you think boundaries with friendship are a lot? And I feel like we talked about this, but there is no set boundaries with friendship. Whereas, don't tell your girlfriend she's fat. Don't tell your girlfriend parents they're staying for too. Like those kind of things that are things that we agree on that actually happen in relationships. But with friendships, do you think it's more kind of go figure out yourself?
I do think. I think rules aren't as set in friendships because each friendship is different and the depth of each friendship is different. So certain friends could say certain things to me that others would not even be allowed to utter, Yeah. So I think it depends on the depth of a friendship. Not every friend I know could tell me that I'm looking chunky. I would not be okay with that. But certain friends know they're allowed to and that they have that relationship with me. But that's crazy because Some of my friends can really tell me that I'm fat, but if my boyfriend told me I was fat, that's it. Game over, you know?
Yeah.
It's game over.
Why?
I don't know why, but it just is.
Because
There is
the
something
person supposed
so
to find you
humiliating.
attractive.
There is something so
For
humiliating.
it to be game over is a bit dramatic to me, though.
Huh?
It's a bit dramatic to me.
It would hurt my feelings a lot more than it came from one of you two. A
I'm
lot.
not saying it's not hurtful, but to break up with someone who is just saying like,
No, it's not game over. I don't literally mean, when I say game over, I don't mean break up. I just mean like that situation would hurt me so much if my partner was to point blank tell me they don't find me attractive anymore.
Yeah.
And then I've gained weight. Like, that's too much.
Is there other ways a friend can cross the line? I mean, there's many ways, like stay away from your friend's guy, blah, blah, blah. Things that not involving men or whatever. Is there something that you think if your friend did that, that is it?
let me just make this point before we move on to friendships. My future husband, if you're watching this, please, if you don't find me attractive and we can work on it, tell me. I want to be the best woman in your eyes. So if you don't find me attractive anymore, tell me. We'll work on it together. Because I would definitely tell you if I felt like that. But friendship, yeah. Do you know how we said about name calling?
Yeah.
I think that's also cool in friendships, especially if we're having an argument, for us to start calling each other names. You know?
If you call me stupid bitch or stupid cow, oh my God. Someone calls me a cow.
I hate that word. I hate it.
But do you see them friendships when that's all they do? That's just how they talk to each other.
Yeah.
It's such a stupid cow. Like, I find those friendships really abusive. Like, how do they function?
I crossed a boundary with a friend long time ago, and I still, to this day, I regret it. And I called her pathetic.
Yikes.
And that, I think now, looking at it with my adult mind, was a line crossed.
Step too far.
Yeah. But then, being a teenager, I justified it.
But can I just say, if my sister called me pathetic because we were arguing, it's totally cool. I'm not gonna lie. If we're arguing and she says, you are being so pathetic right now.
Not you being so pathetic, you are pathetic.
Okay, I don't, oh, okay. That changes everything.
Yeah.
I don't know, I've had some intense arguments with my sister. She's called me a bitch before. I've called her a bitch before. Definitely.
I don't have a sister, so I don't know what it's like for a sister relationship.
Yeah.
I have a brother, and if he called me a bitch, God, yeah.
My brother can't call me a bitch, not for shit.
God
No.
forbid.
No way. It's the name calling. I do have a big issue with that, because I don't have anyone in my life where we have that friendship. I mean, if I'm texting you guys, I might be like, all right, bitch, you look good.
Yeah,
But
that's in a good way.
Not when it comes from a place of anger.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, we don't get involved with each other's relationships, do we?
No, we don't. We stay out of each other's relationships. We try to.
I think that is the best thing we've done. Like, stay with, like, ask, how's your boyfriend? Is he all right? How are you? Where is it going? That's about it. I don't think we are like.
We don't need to be friends. Do you guys think it's possible to be friends with someone you're in the same field with?
What,
Do you think that creates like a competition kind of thing?
Like a work friend.
career?
Yeah. So all of us three were into like marketing. Do you think we'll be as close as we are?
I think we would constantly compare each other's, like, where we are in each other's careers, and we would either be better than you, or because we're not as good as you. And I think that would cause some form of resentment.
100%.
I to some extent, yes, but for me, if like there are people I work with currently that I'm friends with, right? I like them, we're friends. But if you guys wanted to do something I'm doing, I don't think it would bother me.
No?
No.
You wouldn't compare a little bit? Or you wouldn't
I would compare. Didn't say I wouldn't. I would, but not to a bothersome point.
I don't know.
You seem very in control of your emotions, Najma.
Yeah. I sometimes I'm not all the time. I fall apart sometimes. But I like to be I was always taught your emotions don't control you, you control them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would love it, I think, to some extent, if because at least you'd have someone who understands the pain you're going through. And I think that could strengthen your friendship depending on who you are as a person.
It's a hard one, man.
Yeah, same.
I don't really think you may do it, but the other person may not be as supportive as you are,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're progressing. Because another thing about friends, yeah, a lot of friends only support you if they're doing better than you. Once you start doing better than them, you start seeing the energy shift a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I think, especially if you're in the same field, I think that creates...
But then there are some people who don't like being friends with people who they deem lower than them.
Lower?
Like, if you're not
doing as well.
Yeah, career-wise, you're not where I am. Therefore, you're not good enough to be my friend.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah, quite a lot.
Because a lot of times the other way around, because people always want to be at the top.
It's a difficult one because I think, although it's not nice to feel like a bit shit because other people are doing better than you, it's human nature. You can't help but want to do better. And when someone is doing better than you, it is you can be happy for them, but it is impossible to say that it doesn't make you want to do better. You just
It doesn't make me feel shit
at all.
Doesn't make me feel shit.
I think
I'm not just talking about feeling shit. I'm talking about it doesn't push you to want to do better. It doesn't motivate you in any way, seeing other
it would
people.
upset me. All my friends are going on holidays and stuff, and I can't participate because I'm broke. Then that would make me want to do better for myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does push you to want to do better.
If my friends were succeeding, I would be there clapping.
Yeah.
Same.
But if our friendship, like, money dictates a lot. And if I can't go out, have dinner with my friends because financially I can't do that, it is upsetting.
Yeah, that I get that, because you feel like they're moving far ahead in life. But if my friends are getting their dream jobs and I'm still on Indeed, yeah, I don't know if I'll feel any less happier for them though.
I'll be pleased.
But they are people. And also, if I'm doing better than my friends and all of a sudden it changes, I don't think I'll get jealous about it. They are people who really
Deserve it.
no, it bothers them. Like, she's doing better than me.
Well, I think that's a different type of friendship, though.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like.
Yeah, no, for me, my friendship, like, I view you guys like my family. If my brother was doing well, I would not be like, oh my God, he's doing this, he shouldn't be doing this. No, I'd be supporting, no matter how shit my life is. If he's thriving, I'd be proud and happy to be his sister. Same goes for my friends.
I'm telling you right now, there's people out there competing with you and you don't even know it.
Really?
You don't even know it. If you get in a relationship, you know, like Insecure, if you get in a relationship and they're still single, you know, the energy is not there. Like, kind of like Molly in Insecure.
Molly be crazy.
It's kind of like, yo, be happy for your friends once in a while. How shit of a friend do you feel when you're doing good and your friends are celebrating you, but when it's the other way around?
Yeah, the only time it would bother me, not because my friends are doing good, but I'm not participating in the things my friends are. That would bother me, and that would make me want to go and, you know, do more for myself and with myself.
Friendship is such a hard one, you know.
But I don't know. For me, I'm a girl's girl.
I just think being friends when you're in the same field is. I don't see why.
You know what? They're not good for us because there are some people that I compare myself to, and as horrible as that sounds, when they do well, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. But those are not my friends. They are acquaintances that I don't really like all that much.
Mm.
Do you see those tweets when people say people that you don't know will support you better than people that you know?
Can't relate. Well, at least I hope I can relate.
Friendships are
A
complicated.
lot of people experience it.
Well, I just want to put out there, if you guys succeed, I will cheer you on.
Same.
Same, man.
I want to have a big happy success party for you. I want to goddamn.
Really, I'm always happy for my friends. I sometimes get teary at how happy I get for my friends.
Oh,
Well done, Najma.
she's getting
There's no reason. I don't want you guys to be miserable.
No, I want all of us to be happy.
Yeah. But no, I think if you are comparing, because you don't know what the other one feels, but if you are the person, when your friend is succeeding, you're like, you are getting unhappy or whatever, that person is not your friend. You don't see them as a friend, you don't value them as a friend. And I think either change your ways or let that person go and find another person that you connect better with.
You're going to be jealous of.
I think that's something a lot of people, they hang on to friends even though they've outgrown each other. They're still trying to cling on, and I think you should just let it happen.
Find people you connect better with.
Yeah. They still try to.
We have a mutual friend, I won't say names, that looks down on people.
We have one friend.
Yeah. He looks down on people. And I felt
What people? What kind of people does he look down on?
Like people who are not doing as well as him.
You in a respectful kind of way, like you can't chat to me because you're on this salary and I'm out here. Yeah. That
I don't rate. And I know you're not my friend. I'm not your friend, and I'm not gonna spend time and energy into nurturing this friendship.
I want to know about this friend. Who is this?
Oh yeah, I'm surprised you don't know.
Sharon.
I'm surprised you don't know. It made it quite obvious.
On that note, I'm going to end the video because I want to know who this friend is. And yeah, so anyways, guys, on the topic,
set boundaries. Yeah, set boundaries.
Believe in them and respect them.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone cross yours. Don't cross other people.
Oh yeah, and if they cross the boundary, let them know. Set them back in line.
Yeah, and if you do cross a boundary, apologize.
Apologize.
And growing as people, and just if you know you've crossed a boundary, apologize, even if that friend
but sometimes you don't know you've crossed the boundary because you're learning. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes you cross a boundary and you're like, okay,
now I know not to do that. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
And if you know your friend did not mean it, don't make me feel shit for the rest of my life. Like, come on now, I didn't mean it.
Forgive. Don't forget.
Let it go.
Let it go. All right. Cool. Bye, guys.
Bye, and stay messy forever.
Stay messy.
Never.